Okay, starting a recording of the review RRA5 for us and sharing the screen. On question 1, which of the following can you type in the start menu in Windows to open up a command prompt?
It's going to be CMD. That's one.
CMB, everybody agree?
Yes.
Correct. Charlie and Bravo. Open won't open the command prompt. Next one. Which part of the operating system can be described as extremely specific software written for purpose of instructing the OS on how to access a piece of hardware?
Driver.
D, driver.
Driver. Everyone agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Driver. Kernel is the one that controls him. I will agree with that. But is it a software written just to do that? Is it a software that does that? No, he is the one that controls it, but it's not a software that's written to basically control it. You have the shell where you install drivers. Now he knows how to send the information to the kernel so that he can be able to hit the ones and zeros correctly. He translates human language into machine language, the kernel. What is the minimum required memory for a 64-bit installation of Windows 7?
2 gigabytes.
2 gigabit.
2 gigabytes. Everybody agree?
Agreed.
Yes.
That is correct. 64-bit requires 2 gigs, while 32 requires what? 32-bit.
1 gigabyte.
That is correct. So if you read it too quickly, some of you might have just went straight for the 1 gigabyte, but it was a 64-bit operating system. Next one, which operating system features offers the ability for a single application to have multiple requests into the processor at one time?
Multi-threading.
Multi-threading. Multi.
Correct. Dystopia. I don't even know what that means. Anybody know what that word means?
Apparently what we're living in.
Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of that word. First time I've ever seen it. What is the minimum required memory for a 64-bit in Windows 10?
It's 2 gigabytes.
2 GB.
Correct. That is correct. Windows 10 64-bit also requires a minimum of 2 gig. Would I always put the minimum?
Oh.
No. That is the minimum. If you want to crawl, you crawl at the minimum. If you want to perform, at least double it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Questions or doubts on number 5? Number 6, which of the following utilities is used to update group policy settings and replaces some of the functionality that used to exist in SecEdit?
E. As in boy.
Correct. GP update. Which utility can be used to schedule a remote shutdown? Hello?
C.
Shut down.
Correct. Which command terminates a running process at the CLI?
This one I was a little bit confused, but I'm assuming for Windows it will be D.
Correct. Why would I know it's Windows with this word here? Why
Command
do I
line?
know it's Windows?
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't say bash. If it was bash, then I'll be like, yeah, kill. But it doesn't say bash.
It doesn't say
Because
terminal.
Apple has, yeah, terminal.
Yeah, terminal either.
Yeah. So it said CLI. I must know that CLI is in Windows only. Terminal is the location that looks exactly identical to a command line interface in Windows, but that's how they call it in Mac and in Linux or Unix, called a terminal. You believe that there are corrupt clusters on your disk. Which tool should you use? Corrupt cluster.
Check this. C.
Correct. Disk management will do what? And disk part does what?
Disk part is for partitioning.
Creating active partitions, creating new partitions, deleting partitions. Disk management lets you do the RAID and all that stuff, including partitions, including formatting. All that is inside that GUI interface of Windows. The only one that actually lets you fix corrupt clusters is this guy from the ones that they gave us here. Check disk. Questions or doubts? Next one. Which of the following replaces MBR in the 64-bit versions of Windows operating system?
C.
GPT, correct. What is grub and where does grub take place?
That is mostly a Linux program for multi-booting.
Correct. Which of the following utilities will rearrange the files on your hard disk to occupy contiguous chunks of space? Put Humpty Dumpty back again.
Defragment.
Correct. Defragment. Virtual memory is configured through which system tool?
System properties.
Correct. Virtual configuration would be for what?
Virtual machines?
Machines.
Yep. Or virtual configuration. Yeah. Virtual machine configuration, obviously, yeah, you're dealing with a VM. It can be any virtual appliance. You're going to be virtual configuring any appliance. What can you do if a program is not responding to any commands and appears to be locked up?
E. Open Task Manager.
Open Task Manager, I heard. Select appropriate task, I assume, and then click End Task.
Yep.
I agree.
Correct.
Something I have to do often.
Okay. That was a little curveball there, right? Technically, if I open up the system control panel and look at performance, you're saying for me to open up control panel. And inside control panel, you're telling me that I have performance in here? Is performance inside the control panel?
No.
Okay. There's extra steps to get the performance. So they kind of tricked us there. And either which way, it wouldn't alleviate the problem even if I look at it. We're looking at which command can help you with it if it's stuck. Next one. Which type of resources do you configure inside a device manager?
Memory.
Hardware.
Hardware.
So device manager, I could only do memory?
No, hardware.
It's all hardware in there. All the hardware. I can check the drivers of the hardware. I can update the drivers of the hardware. I can disable the hardware. Which of the following utilities allows you to test network connectivity?
Bing, bing.
Ding! Telnet allows me to connect to another device. He won't test the network for me. He'll just attempt to connect to another device. Via what port would I connect if I was using Telnet though?
23.
Questions, doubts?
Ready to rest.
Which Windows 10 feature displays a random wallpaper on the actual logon screen?
Spotlight.
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 Correct. UWP. What is UWP?
I have no clue.
Universal Windows Platform. Interesting. First introduced into Windows 10. It's basically to allow you to install and run universal apps in Windows 10, Windows Mobile, Xbox One, and HoloLens. Without actually have to be rewritten, the actual program. That's what UWP stands for. What is a disadvantage of allocating too much storage for any given application?
E. The storage might go unused.
Correct. The storage will fill up too quickly. I don't know. Kind of, yeah. If I make a humongous bucket reserved for the application, maybe, because then the rest of the drive is there. The major disadvantage is obviously that you may not even need all that space. You got wasted space. Questions or doubts? Which tool allows you to report a remote computer's inventory of hardware?
msinfo32.exe.
Everyone agree? Hopefully.
Yeah.
What does regedit give me?
That's for editing your registry under the Windows applet.
What does msconfig give me?
Microsoft configurations.
Yeah, system configuration, right? Any questions, doubts? You need to install a 64-bit version of Windows 10. How much space is required on a 64-bit operating system?
B. 20 gigabits.
Correct. Who requires 16 gigs?
32.
32.
Correct.
Dang it.
An application states that it requires 4 gigs of memory. What does that mean?
The application itself needs 4 gigs of memory. In other words, RAM available for it.
Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It's actually on the operating system, not just for itself.
Hey, well, I still got it
I
right.
got this one wrong.
Yeah, it's very close.
So can you explain this one a little bit? Because I got this one wrong.
Whenever you look at the back of a box, you'll notice and look at the application, it actually tells you what it requires on the operating system. Not just for itself. Could you imagine? Now you install this one, it needs 4 gigs. You installed another application, it needs 4 gigs. That application needs 4 gigs. Oh, that one needs 2 gigs. You're gonna wind up buying every time you you buy an application, you wind up buying more and more memory. Wouldn't be a very good idea, would it? Not cost effective.
Oh, it's referring. Okay, I just misunderstood. So when you're saying application requires, it means what the system has.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah, those are trick questions that they give you, and obviously, after you look at it and you think about it, yeah, that's true. Because just imagine the old 32-bit operating system. What's the max I can have?
4 gigs.
So imagine this time if this one requires 4 gigs, the next application comes in. Matter of fact, not even any other application. If the operating system and that application require 4 gigs, that application is not going to run, or Windows is going to crash on me. Make sense? Number 21. When Windows 8 was initially released, what was the beautiful interface called?
Metro.
Metro PCS. I mean, Metro UI, yes.
Metro.
Is correct. Arrow is what? What is Arrow?
The artistic choice to have something look glassy and see-through.
On the
Windows
actual,
7.
yeah, Windows 7 started it. Where up here, this became see-through, and I don't know. I don't know what's the great feature, but hey, it's whatever they like.
It looks nice.
It's not
People
useful.
approved that. Someone had a meeting and they approved that.
I'm pretty sure, and that guy got promoted. Which of the following is the online cloud storage account to which you can save or move files that comes with your Microsoft account?
OneDrive.
OneDrive.
Solo uno. Solo
Uno.
two. Yes, OneDrive. Previous version of Windows included Windows Explorer. Which utility called, what is the utility called in Windows 8?
I don't know.
File Explorer.
Yes, vaya chico. That is correct. Which of the followings are the controls that are available on the side of the screen of an Apple OS and consists of the search, share, start, devices, and settings?
Well,
Charms.
My lucky charms. Hopefully nobody put ornaments. Okay, sidecar. That's usually on a motorcycle, but
You know, looking at this chapter, I realized Windows try to copy Apple.
oh, you think?
And well, the thing is, it's just how bad they failed. Apple's so good at copying and refining, and Windows has shown that they can't do that.
Windows, you know where the Windows name came from?
I'm not
You know
sure.
Okay, right. So Apple had their menu and all that stuff since the beginning of time. We all agree, the old original Mac, if you look at it, it had file and it had ways to navigate. Windows had windows, a bunch of little windows on your desktop. And you had to double click on every single window and another window would open to be able to navigate. That was Windows 3, Windows 3.11. Then Windows 95 came out and the start button arrived. The start button was never there on the original Windows. They actually took it from Apple. So when Apple was going, when 99 cents per share, I should have bought it when I was there. I would have been a millionaire right now. But otherwise, that's what happens. If you'll notice, it's like to grab their names and all that stuff. So charms, yes, that's what it is. If Windows is installed on a system with multiple hard drives, which tool can be used to verify that the images are pointing to the intended drives?
This part.
Okay. Everyone agree? This part, let's find out. Correcto. Sysprep will ask the system to prepare an image. That's what it do is for to be able to do those images and to do the unintended installs and all that stuff. It creates an actual image of that completed Windows and removes the SID, which was a security identifier, and it removes the name of the PC, basically. So that when you create a new image, you're able to put the name on the PC itself. So it's a system image with all the applications that you want. Anyone know who Lilo is, except for Stitch?
Hmm.
Can't say I do.
I mean, somebody picked it. It's actually Linux loader. Got nothing to do with Windows, right?
I had a feeling when I saw that it looked like a Linux kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's just a short name for Linux loader. All right. In order to curb software piracy, what must you do after Windows 7 installation, or any Windows installation, actually? Any of them. Doesn't matter if it was Windows 7, 8, 10, 11, 14, 35, 44, 970. No, wait a minute. It only goes up to 10 for now.
You must activate it.
Activate.
Activate it. That is correct. Any questions or doubts?
No.
Which feature allows you to use free space on the SD card to speed up a system?
Ready boost.
Yeah.
Correcto. Which feature allows you to recover an operating system to a prior point in time after you installed a faulty application or a driver?
System restore.
Correct. Remote computers and virtual machines are made available in Windows 7 using what port?
See.
3980.
3389. Which folders on Windows 7 installation holds the boot configuration data, or BCD for short, on
Backslash boot.
the system's hidden partition?
A.
Backslash boot.
Boot.
Correcto. Any questions, doubts?
No.
Okay.